YouTube. What's up, guys? Welcome back to another video with your boy T Ron. Guys, it says not everyone needs a podcast, and I stand on that. Some people be saying some off the wall stuff, but some things are just for entertainment. Some things are just to get people, gears turning. But let's get straight to reaction. I can talk your head off. Love you guys so much. On the road to 5K. Let's get it. All right, guys, let's go, man. Not everyone needs a podcast.
Look, I'm gonna be the one to say it. Just because you have one good conversation with your homies, that does not mean that you need to start a podcast. I'm tired of dudes talking about aliens once, then thinking that they have the right to buy a Shure SM7B from Best Buy. Now they got a podcast called Alien Talks that's just uninteresting and dry. The host sucks, the friends suck, and even the podcast name sucks. You're not the next Joe Rogan, bro. Put the mic down and put the fries in the bag. Someone's gotta say it. Remember that one relative that told you that you weren't making it to the NBA when you were like 5 years old? Just think of me as that. Hey, everyone needs a little bit of tough love in their life. Not everyone can be nice in this world. And I'm gonna be the boogeyman here saying how your podcast sucks and your friends are boring. Maybe you should think twice before you take that trip to Best Buy. See, the problem is that this world is way too nice now. And now we have podcast clips of dudes talking about how they want their mothers to have good sexual experiences.
Wait, what? I gotta see this, y'all. People be tweaking, bro. What we talking about here? Your mother?
Clips of dudes talking about how they want their mothers to have good sexual experiences.
Because I love my mom. I want her to come.
I don't know if this is weird to say, but I want my mom to have flawless experiences.
How do you not know if that's weird to say?
Hey, y'all gotta chill out, bro. I know everybody trying to get in a bag for the internet and just say whatever to get it going, but that's nasty, bro. That's disgusting. For that to even come out of my mouth, I can't even form my mouth to even say anything like that. I gotta do better, bro. That's boy. Come on, y'all. That just made me mad, bro.
Say, like, oh my gosh, I want my mom to have great sexual experience. That is weird.
I want you to have that.
Yeah,
too.
and I want you to have that as well.
So it's like,
Is that weird to
it's
say?
really, like, I genuinely want my mom to be getting down good.
I'm gonna give you some tough love right here. This is gonna be the toughest
All
love
right,
that
bro.
you've ever felt.
I
This
had
love
enough.
is gonna be tougher than a well-done steak. You need to stop podcasting, bro. I'm sorry. Never in my life have I ever thought about my mom having good sexual experiences. Y'all are just odd human beings. What even sparks this conversation? Like, how do you even get to this point? And why was this video even uploaded to the masses, bro? We need to start telling people no more often. You know what,
Facts.
man? I'm thinking about starting a podcast. No,
No.
bro, put the mic down. At this point,
No.
it needs to be easier to buy an RPG from a gun store than it is to buy a microphone from Best Buy. Because I promise you, if there were background checks for mics, we would be nowhere near this point. It feels like everyone
Y'all ever see them comments where people be like, they need to make podcast equipment more expensive? Because people just be buying it and just be saying anything.
has a
bro.
podcast nowadays. And when I say everyone, I mean everyone. NBA players, rappers, children. The Hawk Tua girl just started a podcast called Talk Tua. Don't get me wrong, shout out to her for running up a bag off
Facts.
that one phrase, I saw that she got 30K for popping out to a club a few weeks ago. Like, kudos to her,
Like, bro, no, she's smart, and I done some reactions about her. I'm not mad at her at all. She did what she needed to do, and that happened here in Nashville. She did what she needed to do. She got the bag and ran with it for a little bit. If you're getting paid, guys, talk to me. If you're getting paid to go to clubs and do nothing but be there, you get free drinks, free food, and they're paying you 30K, and you're having fun while doing it, you better go. You better run it up. Keep saying it. Keep saying talk to her, hawk to her. Keep posting on the internet. Keep it flowing. Because you're going to bring more, business to that club. And people at clubs going to want to keep sending you out, bro. I'm just saying. Hey, she did nothing wrong, bro.
I'm gonna clap it up for her. But why would I want to hear that woman speak for 2 hours straight each week about current events in her life? I mean, for crying out loud, she got famous for talking about
Yeah,
how
they
she
go Broadway, y'all. Nashville. I love my city, man. Look at it in the background. He don't know what he just did, bro. 'Cause I used to do public interviews, guys, back in the day. That's like one of my first YouTube videos. You see how she blew up? He kind of just got left in the background. That's why I stopped doing it. I want you guys to know me for me. I want you guys to look for the next drunk person I interview and see what they're going to say. You don't even know how I act. Because we would never got here. So, That kind of why I just veered away from that, but it's still funny time.
He spits on the pee-pee. Why am I supposed to care about what this woman has to say? Does she really need a podcast for saying "Huck to" and
Spit on that thing. You get me?
the world could go without a podcast from this woman? You know what? Maybe I'm just hating. You know, maybe why don't I just check out one episode?
Can't do it as good as
Do
Haley.
it.
You do it.
No, you do it.
Hot to.
There you go.
You gotta put like an emphasis on it, like tuh. You know, like really. Yeah. Say it. All right, all together.
Hot to.
Hot tuh.
Hot to.
Say it aggressive, like
Hot
really.
to.
After watching one episode of the Talk to a Podcast, I wanted to announce that I am quitting YouTube and becoming a full-time neurosurgeon, astronaut, and monk, all because of this podcast. This is one of the most enlightening podcasts that I have ever watched, and I just wanted to say thank you, Hawk Tua Girl, for opening my third eye and helping me evolve as a human being with your phenomenal podcast. I really appreciate you. All jokes aside, no hate to her. She's just capitalizing off her
Facts,
opportunity
facts. You
like
can't be
any
mad at
other
her, bro.
human being would
Can't be
in
mad
her
at her.
position. But overall, I just don't think there's anything really interesting about this woman that sets her apart from all these other podcasts out there. Yeah, she may be able to get some great guests on there because the podcast is connected to Better, which is a sports media company co-owned by Jake Paul. But at
Money.
the end of the day, like,
Money,
the guests
guys.
can only carry her so far, you know? Like I said, there's not much interesting about this woman. She got famous for saying how she spits on the nutsack, you feel me? But like I said, she's just capitalizing off of a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. Podcasts, after all,
can't be
aren't the
mad at
hardest
her,
thing
bro.
to do. Podcasting is one of those things that I believe is easy to start but hard to master. The bare minimum is to get a few mics, sit down with some friends, record, chat for a little bit, and boom, you got a podcast. Like, it's not that hard. And if you
Yeah.
already have an audience, it makes creating a podcast even easier. Because if the
Facts.
audience you've garnered cares to watch you for like maybe a few seconds or a few minutes each day, they'll for sure listen to you talk for about 2 hours each week. So it makes sense to why so many people are starting podcasts nowadays.
People are starting podcasts because, but you know how much money podcasts make, the niche, and how long the video is. That's why people do it, bro. It's not just because they enjoy talking to each other. Y'all, podcasts are paying. Then you get sponsors. It ain't no secret. I try it. I go try to talk and see if you guys like it. I mean, shoot. It's a reason why everybody's doing it. It's a method to the madness. It's not no secret. Come on now.
But like the title says, not everyone needs one. While some of them are good, some just feel like people talking just to talk. Like, I wouldn't even call some people's podcast a podcast. I'd rather call it mic terrorism. The other day, I saw a podcast clip of two dudes talking about lefty loosey, righty tighty being the greatest invention of all time.
Lefty loosey, righty tighty is the craziest invention of man. I use that all the time. The saying lefty loosey, righty tighty. We just got a new machine. It's
Okay.
like it's called an articulating log loader.
Yeah,
And
what?
It sounds like my toilet paper.
Yeah.
There's forks like this that picks up a log and then it can open and close on it, and the left button opens it and the right button closes it. And I literally say to myself, I'm like, lefty loosey, righty tighty when I
Yeah.
need to let go or grab on. It's the lefty loosey. I might get that tattooed on myself.
Like, no offense to these two dudes at all, because
Yeah,
they're probably
like-
great people. I could probably sit down, chop it up with them, eat a steak, and just vibe out with these dudes. But there's gotta be something way more interesting to talk about than a saying used for when you're screwing something in. Like, what's next? Are we gonna talk about bunny ears being the best method to tie your shoes?
I mean, guys, like, with a podcast, there's nothing really, like, you can't talk about. I mean, yeah, there is for the internet's sake, but I mean, like, it's just a random conversation, and people enjoy just blabbing, especially, like, you know, what's the word for it? Getting above the clouds. People enjoy stuff like that. It makes you think, like, high conversation. Let's just say high conversations. It makes you think, man. So I don't think there's nothing you really can't talk about a podcast unless it's inappropriate for the platform. But I don't know. I feel like that's just for fun, for real. And you can just make money off it, especially if you have a name.
Something in. Like, what's next? Are we gonna talk about bunny ears being the best method to tie your shoes? Or maybe even schist being the best rock there is? This conversation just feels so bland and pointless. Like, if an alien were to imagine two human beings talking, I'm pretty sure it'd think of this AI generated ass convo right here. Like, this is the product of podcasts being so easy to start up. We now have dudes talking about screwing mechanisms as a topic of interest. Like, I don't think think every conversation has to be important in a podcast, but there is no way that these dudes copped some premium podcast mics, got the setup and everything just to talk about lefty loosey, righty tighty. This podcast just has no meaning at all. It's just yip and yap going back and forth about nothing. I swear these podcasts just get worse and worse, bro. Like, there's just too many podcasts now, and what more is there really to talk about? We gotta sit here and like just think for a second. What more is there really to talk about? Instead of having to get a degree for a job, people need to start getting a degree for a podcast. So let's just be real.
can't have podcasts
Like,
since
is
you
there
have a
really a
degree?
need for a podcast where frat dudes talk about Hawk Tua?
Bro, I don't know if you heard of the Hawk Tua girl.
Yeah.
Spit on that thing.
Bro, that blew out of proportion. Like, I low-key think it got too big.
You think?
Yeah.
I don't even know if I've seen the clip, but good for her, I guess. I don't know.
No, like, it's everywhere. Dude, even at, like, Old Town, you'll hear Hawk Tua remixes.
Really?
Yeah.
Yes.
Bro, I think it's crazy that you can like do one little thing and a clip can go viral and then all of a sudden the next day you're like a celebrity. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that's crazy.
Clip culture,
Yo, this guy
bro.
in the comment section.
Clip culture, guy. That's why YouTube's kind of like iffy right now. That's why I kind of like doing like longer form is kind of iffy. If you already got your platform, you're good. But trying to come up on YouTube, you got to put clips out to TikTok, the shorts. You got to make sure, because everybody's attention span is way shorter now. So it's hard, man. It's
Gets
tough.
it. This man said podcast equipment should cost $1 billion.
Y'all see? Y'all
I
see?
totally agree. I'm not gonna lie, like, no offense to these dudes, probably some great people, but I'd rather drag my balls through the hot Sahara desert than listen to these frat dudes talk for 2 hours straight. You best believe I'm serving a life sentence before I listen to Jimmy and Tom from the Beta Theta Sigma frat talk on a podcast for 2 hours. Like, this podcast is just drier than a Popeye's biscuit. There is no energy at all to this conversation. And you may be thinking, like, bro, you can't judge off of just one clip of the podcast, you know? This is every clip.
What is your favorite frat?
I don't know. I like how big SAE's parties are and like
Yeah.
Lambda, but like I think ASIG just threw a really cool party. So
I
think-
heard, dude.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Kyle was just on it. He's an ASIG.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
See, but
That
guys,
was
this
a
could be
really
good
good
for
party.
them.
This podcast.
They could be targeting other college people that's like, in fraternity sororities. You never know who's watching you. That's why this ain't that bad. He kind of blown out of proportion.
That just sucks.
He's
This
gotta find
convo
his
just
audience.
sounds so generic and bland. No energy at all. Just, what's your favorite frat? I like SAA. They're bad. Oh my god, I heard Kyle's there. Like, get this off the airways, bruh. Like, what did Joe Budden say?
That shit is a 2-pack of ass.
I genuinely wish I could take back the few seconds of my life I wasted watching that podcast clip, because now I just feel 10x dumber than what I was before. I feel like one of the keys to a great podcast is an entertaining host, because there's going to be
Yeah.
boring parts to a podcast, and it's
Yeah.
up to the host to make that podcast interesting
Pump it
when
up.
it's getting dry. But the problem with this podcast is that the host has the personality of a raw chicken wing. So when he talks about boring topics and he's also boring, that just makes the podcast 10 times more boring. Another problem with everyone starting a podcast is that some people don't believe that they need to do proper research before they record. Like a little bit ago on Twitch, there was this streamer named Jason the Ween who hit
Yeah.
100,000 subscribers, you know? He was number 2 on Twitch for his amount of subscribers in that month. And then there was this shitty TikTok podcast called the 949 Podcast that decided to give their opinion on the whole situation. And no, they're not really knowledgeable when it comes to this whole streaming space. So this was their take.
Streaming is the new wave. It's
It
'cause
is.
Yeah.
It's just, but the thing is, it's the new wave because of clips.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Like Jason the Ween, guess how many live viewers he has? Just guess.
depends on the time.
Just guess.
Like
you guys
5K?
guess. Well, how many live viewers do you think he got?
Like 3K?
3K. So like he's like a number 2, or I guess like, well, he has like around 15 to 20.
Oh. Oh
You know what
wow.
I'm saying?
That's
But
pretty
But to
good.
think about it, like that's not that good in terms of like views.
That's true,
I feel
but
like
live,
it's good for
Live
live.
is-
That's what I'm saying. It's good for live, but think about the people in the world. It's only 15K.
15K,
So
yeah.
that's what I'm saying. Streaming is not like a mainstream thing
Big,
yet.
big,
It's only
yeah.
mainstream because of the clips that they put out after,
Yeah,
Mm.
right.
which get millions.
He sounds so dumb. This made my brain hurt. I can't wait to see what this guy's finna say when he comes back in and tells what he feels about this, bro. He don't know what he's talking about.
And millions of views.
Right.
But no one's actually watching
clips
that
don't even
shit
make that
live.
much.
Yeah. No, literally,
The
bro.
CPMs on clips, y'all do not make that much, but you gotta get in the millions for. I'm not getting into all this.
There's
Not
a
that
few
type of
things
things.
that piss me off
Yep,
about this
come on, I'ma let him
dookie
do it.
TikTok
I'ma
podcast.
let
Number
him do
one,
it.
this man is saying streaming is only big because of clips. Yeah, because nobody's gonna sit there and watch an 8-hour stream front to back. idiot. So to make it more digestible for the average viewer, streamers and their audiences make clips so that more people can see their streams. What's so bad about that? Another thing this man says is 15K live viewers isn't good views because the clips get millions of views. That's how the internet works. And 15K is good because it puts him in the top 0.1% of streamers.
15K viewers on Twitch. You know how much money you're making an hour? I'm trying to tell y'all, bro. Hey, I stream, guys. Official T-Raw. Same name. Look me up on Twitch. I stream on TikTok. It should be right here. Just letting y'all know. He don't know. He don't know he talk about on that podcast.
Like, why is it surprising that a live stream has less views than a TikTok video? Are we becoming this slow in society where we can't comprehend that a live stream that you have to watch live has less views than a video where you can watch whenever? This dude knows nothing about what he's talking about. He's just saying a hot take because he has a mic in his face with the cameras on. This podcast just sounds like one huge gossip session. That's the problem with a lot of these podcasts. Some of them are just gossip sessions. Another situation of a podcast host not knowing what they're talking about is this one right here. So a little bit ago, there was a situation with Kai Cenat, right? He had a cameraman that was talking to an underage girl. This podcast decided to put out their take on it because, hey, it was a fresh topic. Why don't we say something about it, you know? Why don't we do it for the clicks and engagement? And this is what they had to say.
Kai Cenat, everybody can't go. You need to start looking around. And I know, like, black people specifically, when you get some success, you want to bring everybody with you, but you got to be able to kind of weed that shit out. I should have known who Chris V is. I should have known who Chris Next Door is.
But Chris Next Door is literally...
I think it was a thing that happened, like, Chris was put into a situation because somebody said his name wrong. It's supposed to be another person. I forgot. It was a situation. Guys, you know what I'm talking about. When they was naming people off that was in that little incident with the little girl, they read his name on accident, Chris Next Door. And people started implementing him, and he had nothing to do with it. And he got mad about it and stuff, and Kyle was mad, went on stream. So I know exactly what they're talking about, and they didn't do their research. It was like a blog or something. It was a blog that Kyle's finna work with. I forgot what the people was called. And he didn't work with them no more because they didn't do their research, right? And they made Chris look bad. So, yeah, Chris didn't do anything wrong with that situation.
An AMP member. What do you mean that you shouldn't know who he is?
I should know who Kai Cenat is because you are the driving force in it. But them I shouldn't even know who they are.
I think it's important to highlight that Chris Next Door is an AMP member. If you guys don't know what AMP is, that is Kai Cenat's group.
That's the problem. Kai Cenat shouldn't have a group.
Kai Cenat joined...
Hey, bro, I'm finna turn this off, bro. I'm getting mad.
The group before he became this huge mega streaming machine. This dude knows nothing about what he's talking about. He's just saying a hot take because he's on a podcast.
That's how they got on.
Yeah. Having a team and making it with your team is very important. But if there are problematic people in there, kick them out immediately.
But you gotta know when you are the one, like he is the one. I get it.
So he should abandon everybody?
Yes.
He did not do this alone. Like, there was a journey of a camp of them.
They came together.
And I agree, like, this problematic person, this person that was underage girls, he has to go. Like, bye, we're never speaking to you, cut ties.
Now that we are here and it's the second, third, however many times something like this has happened, what does he do moving forward? Because now it can't keep happening. You have to insulate yourself because at the end of the day, that group doesn't mean anything without him.
That is cap because everyone actually grew themselves.
Guys, I can't watch this no more. I'm getting pissed. But I'm gonna cut it off here, guys. He don't know what he's talking about. Not everyone needs a podcast. That's the main gist of this, because he don't even know Duke, Phantom. Oh my God, bro. He really McDavis. Like, are we really doing this? Are we really? Anyways, guys, like the video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Got more reactions on the way, more vlogs. Love you guys so much if you made it this far. I love you. Like I always say in my videos, T-Raw Nation. Stay you, man. Always, always stay you. One more thing before I go. I love you. Peace.